Hello, everybody. My name is Joshua Doherty, aka Joshua Lloyd Fox. I made a video yesterday talking about the E6B Mercury, the Doomsday plane, and it's gone viral. So there's a lot of questions, and I'm going to respond to a few of them. And I'm going to make 3 videos this weekend, and then just wait to see what happens before I give any more advice or, maybe some inside information. The first one. The comments that I want to address first are the ones calling me a traitor and asking, how I made it so long in the military with the way I think and everything. And I just want to give some information about the military really fast. The military members, especially officers, are under both civilian law and a set of laws called the UCMJ. The UCMJ is a whole nother set of laws. That's where you hear terms like actions unbecoming an officer. That's against the law in the military. Amongst it's tons of articles in the UCMJ, but every military member is subject to the UCMJ, Universal Code of Military Justice, or Uniform Code of Military Justice. I'm sorry. Secondly, the Geneva Conventions were signed after Vietnam. We chose to adhere to them as how we're going to conduct ourselves in war. If you don't know what the Geneva Conventions are, I urge you to look them up. But what it basically says is we will conduct war with honor and integrity and following gentlemen laws and rules. It sounds silly in wartime, but if you don't do that, then the whole world just absolutely gets destroyed. One of the articles in the Geneva Convention says we will not shoot until fired upon. Another one says that when we have a surrendered enemy, we will not kill them. We will take them captive. Another rules are saying when our enemy is down, we don't keep kicking, we don't destroy their infrastructure, and we don't go after civilians. That's the rules and regulations of wartime conduct that we have agreed upon for members of the United States military. Now, I have watched for the past 2 weeks how the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, has gone on national television and said, we are going to decimate them to a man. We're going to kick them down and then keep on kicking. We're going to destroy and kill every single one of them. And all of that is actually against both the Geneva Conventions and the UCMJ. But there's nobody to prosecute him because the only person above him in military matters is the Commander-in-Chief, the President of the United States. Now, the President of the United States so far has not been given war powers by Congress. Only Congress can declare war on another country. The President has 30 days to enact peacekeeping and or de-escalation tactics without congressional approval. Congress voted to take away those powers from him, and it didn't make it through. So he can do whatever he wants right now. But once Congress declares war and gives the Commander-in-Chief war powers, he doesn't need any other approval to push nuclear escalation against other countries. He's the buck stops with him, but he has to be given those powers by Congress, which he hasn't received yet. But we have military equipment in the theater of war in the Middle East right now in preparation for that escalation, and that's what my last video was about. Now, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth wrote a book, and if you haven't looked up this book, I urge you to go on Google or Amazon and read. You can just read the blurb on the back. I'm a book guy. It's what I do as my passion. His book is called The American Crusade. He has tattoos on his body that's reminiscent of the Knights Templar and the Crusaders all the way back when Christians were trying to take back Jerusalem. Millions of people died in the Crusades. But he believes, Pete Hegseth, and you can buy the book, you can read it, he believes that in order for American might to survive, the American way of life to survive, we have to create a crusade against all Muslims and Islamic people in the world and kill them all because they're going to kill us. That's the whole gist of his book. And this is the gentleman who, I believe he made it to the rank of major in the military and was removed from his duties and became a news analyst. And then now he's Secretary of War. He really jumped up some spots. He wants to kill them all. And the only person above him in the Commander-in-Chief also, I believe, wants to do things that tote his own ego and makes him the first. I mean, this is a guy who accepted a Nobel Peace Prize that somebody else had won. There's two different kinds of men in the military. I found out in my almost 3-decade career. They're the types who stand back with honor and integrity and a defensive standpoint, who will defend this country against all enemies, foreign and domestic, until pushed to take the offensive. That's been the American military way of life since the Revolutionary War. We got it from the Brits. The Brits are the same way when we were them. And then the other type of men that I've seen in the military are the ones that scream, let's go kill them all, get them before they get us, American nationalism, pride, patriotism, blah, blah, blah. So for those people commenting that I'm not a patriot, I have served this country for 28 years. I still do to this day. I have started my own business and written some novels that became bestsellers, but I still serve my country because I believe in it. I don't believe in Donald Trump. I don't believe in the conservative movement, MAGA, and certainly not Christian nationalism. But I believe in our American men and women. Now, in order to not follow a lawful or an unlawfully given order, you have to know the law. And all I've seen is our commander-in-chief and our Secretary of Defense breaking the law. But there's nobody to prosecute them because they're the top of the pyramid. They can only prosecute each other. That's why I'm nervous. That's why I'm scared. And my next post is going to be more about my career, especially my last posting. And I'm not going to give away classified information. I take ITAR and EAR training every year and security and classification briefings every year. This is what I do for a living. So those other people who've said I'm giving away classified information, I'm not. You can go on the White House's website, TikTok, or YouTube and see videos of exactly what I've talked about. I'm not giving anything away. Our military movements are not secret because we're projecting military might. We're showing force, and you can't do that secretly. The things that are secret are the nuclear submarines and where they're at, and the nuclear bases, and the things that the public doesn't know about and shouldn't know about. And most of those are like last-ditch defensive positionings, unless a crazy person pushes a button, and then the whole world gets to see what our capabilities are. I do know the United States military will win, regardless of the gutting that's been done to it. I'm just really nervous right now that we're going to be put into a position that we shouldn't be in, that we shot first, dishonorably, without integrity. And we're showing the whole world that when it used to be the other way. Till next time, Joshua Lloyd Fox out.